My mom.
Mamacita.
The tea is exceptionally good today. Who made this? Very delicious. Hold on.
Hey, my cosmic cousins. It's your girl, Nova Charm, and welcome to another episode of Astrology Tea with Nova Charm. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know that I was doing the series on Love Island. Will they survive outside of the villa? Well, I went through all of the couples that actually did survive out the villa, and we are already full aware that there was one couple that made it to the finale and then broke up, which I think we all kind of knew was going to happen. And of course, that couple is Huda and Chris. And if we're all being real, honestly, we knew that Chris was just being dragged to that finale. She didn't really want him like that, and you could tell. The beautiful Huda Mustafa was definitely one of the breakout stars of this season. So it's only right for me to go back and look at her chart specifically and see exactly why she did not find love in the villa. And also kind of take a peek at what the perfect man would look like for her. This is finna be fun, y'all. So before I get too deep into it, you know the drill. Go ahead and hit that like. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of this cosmic tea that I have to sip with you. Now let's get into it. Now, from the moment that Huda entered into the villa, she started off displaying her insecurities almost immediately. I was a little thrown off when she was telling the girls, Orlandria and Shelley, that she was a mother, but she didn't want the other islanders to know. She wanted to tell them on her own. Which is not the fact that she wanted to tell them on her own. It was just the fact that she took so long to tell everybody. She made such a big deal about being a mother that it definitely showed an insecurity about being a young mother, which if you are a young mother, I just want to tell you, you have nothing to be insecure about. If the universe blessed you with a soul to take care of, that means the universe trusts you enough to be able to teach those lessons to that soul and also to learn from that soul that you birthed into this world. I mean, I felt like I needed to put out a little PSA because I've seen so many young girls relating to Huda and a lot of her dark aspects of her energy, which just told me that if y'all are aligning with that, then there's probably some work that you need to be doing. I ain't trying to be funny, but that's just what it is. And I'm going to go through Huda's chart to break it down so you can just see exactly what I'm talking about. And I have to say, there has been so much controversy behind Huda and how she related to the other girls on the show and how she talked to some of the men on the show and how she treated people on the show. And I've seen a lot of her fans defending that toxic behavior. And I was just like, well, what is the pull to her? She walked out that villa with over 6 million followers. That is insane for Love Island standards. So there's obviously something that is very polarizing about Huda, especially since she walked out the Love Island single. Hell, she made it all the way to the finale with somebody she just liked a little bit. So there is definitely something about Huda that is just meant to be. So let's look at this chart and see what is it about Huda that just had the fans going crazy. And the men, not so much. First off, our girl is a Cancer rising. Now, she confirmed this herself, so I'm going to go with what she said. So, she says she's a Cancer rising. That's what we're working with. Now, this is where it starts to get a little insane. And I mean that for real. Huda is a Virgo Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus. Child. When I seen that, I almost passed out. I ain't even gonna hold you. That's a lot of Virgo energy. That's a lot of Mercury right there. That's a lot of Mercury, okay? And it gets deeper because her Mars is in Leo and her Jupiter and Saturn is in Gemini. More Mercury energy. All I can say is this girl don't do nothing but think. That's all she do is sit around thinking all day long. She notices every little thing. Yeah. Now, since she is a Cancer rising, that means her seventh house is in Capricorn. And we're going to break down all of these different placements and what they mean and how they played out on the show. By understanding her patterns, we're better to assess what type of man, would be good for her. Now, being that she is a Cancer rising, Cancer energy typically is nurturing, compassionate, very protective without being smothering. It is that home energy. It's the mother. And, I had to giggle a little bit because I instantly thought of, I'm a mommy, Mamacita. They ate that for no reason, though. For no reason that went viral. We so silly. Cancer energy also gives you a safety. It makes you feel safe without feeling overburdened or heavy. But that Cancer rising has to also feel safe. And if it does not, then what you'll start to see is a whole lot of emotional manipulation. You'll see an obsessive clinginess. You'll see a lot of tears and a lot of emotions in order to get what that person wants. It'll either be they'll cry a lot or they'll get mad a lot. They will just weaponize their emotions. And if we're being honest, we definitely seen that from Huda all through the villa throughout the whole season, as a matter of fact. Now, I know that everybody wants to say that Huda had her arc where she redeemed herself, but she really didn't. And I'll break that down a little later. Let's get into this Virgo energy, though. Now, this Virgo stellium. Now, if you're new to astrology, let me just break this down real quick. A stellium is when you have 3 or more planets in the same sign or the same house. I almost feel like with stelliums, it's the universe's way of saying right here, right here. This is what I want you to do. Like, maybe you just wasn't paying attention in the past lives. I'm speaking from experience. I have a 7th house stellium. So, yes, definitely speaking from a place of experience, okay? By her having a Virgo stellium, it just emphasizes those Virgo traits even more. The light version of Virgo energy is supportive, grounded. They are very attentive to the detailed ways of loving you or just being of service to you. Like, they'll do a lot of things for you. They like to take the time to actually communicate, and they're actually really good at it. Like, they understand that part of communication is being able to listen and hear the other person out. Virgo also represents the health, so they take that really seriously. And this is healthy mind, body, and soul, especially the mind, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which is the planet of the mind. It is the planet of communication. It's the planet of thought and knowledge. So mental health is very stressed, especially if you have a Mercury in Virgo or Gemini, which Huda does. Now, the shadow side of this placement, or the unhealed version of this placement, will look like this. It will look like overanalyzing. It will come off as controlling, nitpicking at every little thing, because Virgo is detail oriented. So they see all of the negative things instead of seeing all of the positive things. And as I mentioned, Virgo energy can be very possessive and controlling. Now, that's like all earth signs, honestly. If you're dealing with anybody who has heavy earth sign energy, or you yourself have heavy earth sign energy, if you're in your shadow side, you can have a tendency to be possessive. Earth signs are all about the material things, the things that we can see, touch, and feel. So when it comes to that energy, it likes to hold on. It likes to secure. So if the energy does not feel secure, then it turns into a thing of controlling, a possession. That earth sign needs to feel it. And if it doesn't feel it, well, then it's going to do what it needs to do in order to feel it. It's going to get you in order and fix you, because Virgo is the fixer. It's going to fix you so it does feel secure. But really, it has nothing to do with anything exterior. It has to do with feeling insecure internally. This type of energy typically leads to abusive behavior. So it's nothing to really play about. If you find yourself feeling like this, or you are around somebody who is like this, first of all, if you're around somebody like this, then get away from them. They got some work to do. And don't come back until they heal. But if you yourself are displaying some of these tendencies, then do what you need to do to fix that. Because insecurity is something that is inside you, not outside you. And nobody else can fix that for you. That's something you have to fix yourself. And if we're thinking back on a lot of the behaviors that Huda showed in the villa, it matches up to the shadow side, more so of the light. When she was secure with Jeremiah, she was fine. And speaking of Jeremiah, I did have to look at his chart to see what the difference was with him versus Chris. And I seen it instantly. I went ahead and took a peek at Jeremiah's chart. I was unable to confirm his rising sign. However, he is a Taurus sun with a Gemini moon, a Taurus Mercury, a Taurus Venus, and a Gemini Mars. And I'm sitting here like, no wonder this boy got a book club. His energy is given straight intellectual homebody. And one thing about a Taurus energy, just like all the other earth signs, they enjoy stability. So I'm almost positive that Huda picked up on that off of Jeremiah from the very beginning. If you think about it, from the time that they had linked up from that first ceremony, he wouldn't even kiss one of the other girls because he wanted her to know that she was safe and secure. Loyalty is crazy important to a Taurus. I mean, his energy literally just wants to make his money and enjoy the best things in life and just gain as much knowledge as he can while he's here. I honestly love Jeremiah in the house. He was actually one of my favorite guys there. And seeing his chart, I understand him very, very well. And like I said, with Huda, her energy, having so much Virgo energy, that is the perfect element for her. I mean, literally, besides the moon sign, they really have matching elements in all of these placements. And with the moon sign being in Gemini and her moon being in Virgo, I mean, they share that planetary energy of Mercury there. And even though it is on two separate aspects, it would still be a workable energy if Huda would have been working from her healed side versus her shadow side. Now, I know everybody likes to try and blame Jeremiah, well, her fans anyway, because they just don't believe that the version of Huda that was being displayed was not the best version of her. It just wasn't. Jeremiah has commitment energy. He is dying for a commitment, but he's not going to just commit to anything because of the fact that he has been through counseling and he has been able to see things that he's done in the past, and he doesn't want to make the same mistakes, which is completely understandable for anybody who has done the work to begin to heal themselves. And by his Gemini moon sitting in her Jupiter, which Jupiter can represent characteristics of your husband, she really did see Jeremiah as that man. Keeping in mind that she has Capricorn in the 7th house, she is looking for someone who is stable, gets to their bag, but they also have to be extremely dominant. Yeah, I said it. They have to be dominant. And the reason why they have to be dominant is because Huda dominant. JD didn't lie on that girl. He didn't lie on her. She is. But it's only because she feels like she has to be. Huda has obviously been through some things. And by a lot of that Virgo energy being there, especially when I start to look at her moon and I think about the relationship with her mother, it gets very strict and orderly and routine. And if that placement is aligned with magnificent planets, which I'm not even going to get into that, but it can get dark in that placement. It could signify abuse and different things like that. She definitely went through a lot of criticism, and you can almost tell because that's how she displays that with people that she starts to care about. And this placement being aligned with her Mercury, it can also signify mental health issues from the mother's side. Like, mental health is a big thing on their maternal side. I'm not going to get too deep into it because I know people are probably really sensitive about that. And this is just me looking at the chart, and that's just what I see. And her Virgo and Mercury was always tripping. It was critiquing everything that somebody was saying. I mean, those Virgo traits was eavesdropping to try to get the information. I mean, we know that Mercury loves information, but girl, it was too much for me. Anyways, the critiquing is what did it for Jeremiah. He couldn't take all of that. And honestly, good for him. I was definitely one of the people who voted with America's vote to go ahead and break that on up. I didn't feel like that connection was in a healthy space for either one of them, honestly. And it definitely was because of the fact that Huda was not in a healthy space. And I know there's a lot of people who feel like there's people who should love you through that, but that's not fair. It's honestly not fair to ask somebody else to come in and clean up somebody else's mess. The mess of whatever you got going on was there before they came in the picture, and it should be cleaned up before they come in the picture. And ultimately, putting people in that position will lead them to need some counseling their damn self after they get finished dealing with you. And nobody has time for that. We are in a space right now where everybody is taking accountability for self and doing what is necessary to heal themselves. The last thing that you want to do is come across somebody who is going to bring all of that down in order for y'all to stay on the same frequency. No, absolutely not. Jeremiah's Mercury was in Taurus. Taurus Mercury thinks slow and it talks slow. She would literally be yelling at Jeremiah in his face. Say something, Jeremiah. Stand up for yourself. And he would really be trying to think about how he going to say it before he say it, because that's what Taurus and Mercury does. Her Virgo Mercury did not allow space for him to be able to communicate. And if she was in a healthier version of her energy, that honestly wouldn't have been a problem. She would have been open and very patient with him as far as the communication was concerned, and been willing to hear him out and not cut him off. Taurus Mercuries require that. They require their partner to have that type of patience. And I keep telling y'all that the Mercury is very important in relationships. And as soon as she started tripping too hard and he realized that this was not something that was going to be able to be functional for him, that Gemini Mars kicked right on in. Mars will tell you how you deal with conflict and how you take action. And for men, it tells the type of women that they are also attracted to. Jeremiah likes an intellectual baddie. He definitely enjoys a girl with those Mercury traits that Huda did have. And it also made me think of my girl Alandria and all her Gemini placements, and how Jeremiah said like she would have been another girl that he would have been interested in getting to know. And he's not lying about that. I mean, looking at both of their energies, that's definitely something that would have been workable. But Alandria found her husband with Nick, okay? Especially after I found out she's a Virgo rising. Let me get off of them. Okay, let me stop. Back to Huda. There were a lot of people who did try to accuse Jeremiah of love bombing her in that situation. However, with Jeremiah, he just has the type of energy that where he sees what he wants that specifically, and he goes after it, and he doesn't need anything else. And he literally told everybody that. But every single time a bombshell walked in the door, Huda would get into her insecurities. And then she would start lashing out at the bombshells, calling them bitches and all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, girl, it ain't even like that. Are literally on a show to find love. So, like, how you gonna get mad at them? If she would have been in her light energy, she would have been able to trust Jeremiah enough for him to just say, to them girls, I'm not interested. I already have something. She would have been able to wear her confidence and know that she is that girl. And no matter who walked in the door, she had that on lock. And she needed to know that, but she didn't. And the reason why she didn't is because her insecurities. Now, Jeremiah's behavior didn't do anything to antagonize her behavior other than being the type of guy that she would settle down with. And at the end of the day, there was no real redemption arc. And the reason why there wasn't a redemption arc is because of the fact that she didn't meet anybody that she felt like she did when she was with Jeremiah. It was almost love at first sight for her. Like, if he would have said, you know what, let's get engaged, she would have been with it. She would have did it, okay? Earth sign energy loves stability. I can't say that enough. And literally all she had to do was just give Jeremiah a chance to breathe and allow him to make the decision on what he wanted to do. He would have chose Huda. He really liked her. But her insecurities would not allow her to be able to be happy in that. Her insecurities created overthinking to where she was overanalyzing everything that he did, overinterpreting everything that he did. and heavily criticizing him. Like, the boy couldn't even make pancakes right. She had him just like scared to make a move. And at one point when they got into it, I thought she was going to throw and hit him with the water bottle. Like, she tossed that water bottle, and I've seen behavior like that before. If them cameras wasn't around, he probably would have got swung on. And even her daughter's father has said something like they had to hide the knives in the house. I mean, that's just insane work. Like, nobody should have to live like that. And this is how you know she is walking and talking and breathing through her shadow side of herself. And nobody is going to put up with that. And whenever she was confronted about anything, then here comes that Cancer rising, boy. The way she could stare in somebody's eyes and then drop them tears without blinking. I said to myself, oh yeah, this girl good. She good. And the lack of accountability was staggering. Like, yo, I've never seen an adult like not take any responsibility for anything. And she is a repetitive victim. So when I start thinking about victim, I instantly start thinking about Pisces energy. Sorry, Pisces. This is not for the heel Pisces. I'm talking about when we're talking about shadow side. So none of her Pisces energy is in her top. But I was like, yo, where is it sitting in her chart? Because I know it's there. We all have every single energy of the 12 zodiacs in our universal wheelhouse. So it's all a matter of where it is sitting at for you. It's not a matter of not having it. It's a matter of how much you have it and where it sits, right? So knowing that Huda is a Cancer rising, all you have to do is just go through the universal energy wheel of the zodiacs. And when you get to the Pisces area, it sits in her 10th house. Which your 10th house deals with your career and how you are viewed out in the world. So it does not surprise me that most of her fans love her so much because they feel like they have to take up for her. They feel like she was victimized, and they feel like that people had did her wrong in the villa. When in actuality, it was actually her who was running a rampage around there, calling Jeremiah all kinds of bitches, and anytime Chris got out of place, she felt like she could disrespect him too. But that went completely unnoticed by her fans. They always just seen her as being a victim. Well, he shouldn't have said that, or he shouldn't have did that, or he should have did this. There was never any accountability on the things that Huda should have done in order to calm the situation for herself or take any type of accountability. And so the fact that the Pisces energy sits there, it makes perfect sense to me why her fans see her like that, because that is the perception, or at least the perception that she wants to give the public. And energies that is similar to hers or on the same frequency is definitely going to see that perspective that she's trying to put out, and they're all going to see it the same way. So it made it make perfect sense for me. I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. Okay. Now, by that being her public, which is her MC, her 10th house, that makes her IC in Virgo again. So it's like, dang, like her home life was very strict and structured. Like, my girl went through a lot. I see it in her chart. Like, she really ain't like this for no reason. And her fans see that about her, and they're like, yo, I see myself in her. I know the struggle and I understand the things that she went through. But what needs to be understood is just because you go through things does not give you the right to take other people through things as well. There's a saying that hurt people, which is true. They do, but it's not right. And it's not something that we're going to justify. And it's not something that we're going to sit up here and just ignore and make excuses for. It's something that we're going to fix. You see, when it comes to the Virgo fixer energy, a lot of times Virgos don't understand that the things that they need to be fixing is internal and not external. And that Pisces energy, when it's reflected out to the world, we want to see the dream girl and not the nightmare. Now, after everything wrapped up with Jeremiah and she ended up coupling up with JD for like a couple days, and he told her that she was dominant, which, like I said before, he did not lie, okay? Then she started to find a connection within Chris. Now, when it came to Chris, she really didn't like Chris. Not as much as she liked Jeremiah anyway. She liked him, but it was like he was cool. Like, if they were outside the house, he would have definitely been a friends with benefits. This is exactly why she did not feel comfortable or confident with kissing him. It had nothing to do with everybody else and what they had to say about Jeremiah, because Huda ain't never really cared about what anybody had to say. That's why she walked around that villa and said and did whatever she wanted, because she ain't never cared. The problem is that she was not attracted to Chris the way that she was drawn to Jeremiah. Jeremiah for her represented the husband. Chris represented the guy that I mess with when I ain't got nothing else better to do. And that's just exactly what it was. That's exactly why I say Huda never had a redemption story, because she just never met somebody that she liked as much as Jeremiah. If she would have came across that guy in the villa that she liked as much as she liked Jeremiah, we would have seen, as soon as her security with him was tested, we would have seen the same traits start to come out all over again. She definitely gained interest in him because she seen how he was treating Shelley. She seen the type of behavior that he was giving her, the type of attention that he was giving Shelley, and she wanted that for herself. She wanted that energy, but she just really wanted it from a specific type of person. He just wasn't her type. She definitely has a type. We know that. We've seen her past guys that she's dated and the current guy that she's dating now, which is Louis. Which, if I was one of her fans, I would be screaming for her to get far away from this man. And the only reason why I say that is because this man has been on dating show after dating show after dating show. This is a career for him at this point. He has no interest in settling down with anybody for true love. It's only going to be about some type of money or some type of exchange. And Huda has had so much go on for her in the past that she needs the real thing. She needs to know that there is somebody out there for her that can give her the type of love that makes her feel secure. But she definitely has to be in her most healed energy in order for him to come in, because he's not going to, it's going to be like with Jeremiah. He going to flee the first chance he get. He going to be out of there, because don't nobody want to put up with that if they're in their most healed version. And you should want the most healed version of the person that you are having come into your life. So in order to do that, it requires you to be in your most healed version, okay? Now, granted, if Huda is in her most healed version, this is what that looks like for her. Her Cancer rising is going to give that nurturing warmth, that feeling of home. Whoever she is with is going to feel safe instantly when she comes and approaches them. She's just going to give that warmth, like they can just relax around her and feel comfortable. Her Virgo energy and her Virgo placements are going to give grounded. It's going to give stability. It's going to give a helping hand. She's going to be willing to do gestures to show you how much she cares. She's going to be very practical and caring in a way that displays how much she loves you. Her Gemini placements is going to add to her intellectual value and her strong communication. She's not only going to be open to say exactly what's on her mind, but she's also going to be open to listening to what you have to say as well. This is when the Gemini twin is at its best. This is when it's at its peak, when it's able to communicate effectively and at the same time know when to listen effectively. Now with her Mars, she really didn't have no problem with her Mars, okay? Other than she just needs to be more confident in who she is. Her confidence needs to come off as more proud of who she is and who she was. Pride in being a mother. Proud of all of her accomplishments. All of them, and not just some. Now, she's going to be very playful and very sexual in the bedroom as well. But I think we've seen that on TV. We seen it. Okay. Now, Huda's biggest shift is going to come in when she stops blaming everybody else for the failed relationships and starts asking herself, what am I learning about myself through this? If you're ever in any doubt on what you need to learn, you always just go back to self. Now, with this healed version of her, she will radiate out to the world and draw in the perfect man for her. And this is what he'll look like. This man is going to come in walking it like he talks it. He's going to be stable. He's going to be grounded. He's going to be curious to get to know her, but still playful enough to really be able to want to learn as much about her and her daughter as possible. He will be confident, and he'll be able to stand his ground when necessary with her. She do need somebody who can kind of check her, not in an abusive way, but in a stable way to where it's like, yeah, you're not going to be able to just talk to me crazy, you know? She also needs her a man with a bag, because honestly, she's going to be having her own bag. Like she has her fame on lock at this point, if she allows the healed version of herself to shine through. and not let the dark side destroy everything that she's worked up to. This man is going to have wisdom to share with her, and he's going to be able to communicate with her effectively. I can also see this as being somebody like a CEO type, someone who is definitely their own boss. They don't answer to nobody. They have enough fire and passion to be able to spark her Mars, but enough stability to calm her Virgo placements. I don't necessarily see that being Louis, but I mean, I guess we'll never know. I highly doubt it, though. I highly doubt it. All in all, I wish my girl the best. I really do want to see her in her best healed version of herself. I'll definitely want to see her continue to get to the bag and use this come up to set up her life the way that she wants to. And with that being said, I'm out, Cosmic Cousins.